Welcome to another round of coffee and donuts. I'm Frank. If you don't know who I am, I'm a former federal law enforcement officer. Now I'm the law enforcement training director over here at Armageddon. This is where I answer your questions about the police hiring process or the police career in general. I got 3 pre-submitted questions. Let's discuss. Before we jump into this, we answer all the questions we can on all our social platforms, on YouTube, on all our other social platforms. But we have started our new blog. We have a bunch of different blogs up there. We're posting daily on blogs, giving a more rounded approach to both the hiring process, the academy, more in depth, a good read for anyone. And like I said, we're posting on there every single day. The other aspect to it is we've integrated with Discuss on there. So Discuss is a commenting platform where you can go in there, you can tell us if you like that post, if you don't like that post, or you can leave comments on there as well. We're definitely answering and getting to all those quicker than any other of our other comments. In that specific area, you can even leave your comments anonymously if you want to ask a more tenuous question or a more personal question that you want me to go into or any of our instructors go into. So that's over on our website at armageddonct.com, and you go to our blog section up top or down at the bottom of the page, and you'll be able to go in there and comment on any of our current blog posts. They're coming out every single day. Now, here we go. Let's kick this off. I have these questions submitted. I'm excited to get to them. First one. Hello, Frank. I've gotten pretty far in my hiring process. Excellent. And I want to be ready for the strength/weakness question. Do you think using work ethic as a strength would suffice as a good answer before my investigator or psychologist? Thank you. I like this. So it's not actually a weakness one. You're asking about the sound. Yeah, I think work ethic is one of the best things that you can use when discussing one of your strengths, as long as it's true, right? If you have a really good work ethic and you're willing to go in there and put in the work and try to be successful and learn and grow, absolutely, I think you should use that one as a strength. Just keep in mind, when you select a weakness, be very careful not to select a weakness that would counteract your strength. So if you say, hey, my strength would be my work ethic, right? I'm really big on working and doing and learning, but sometimes that's my greatest weakness too, because I sometimes will prioritize work over top of my personal life or anything along those. Well, psychologists would hear that and say, okay, so you don't know how to compartmentalize, so then your work is going to become your identity. So if I take that to the logical conclusion, so if you feel that someone disrespects the uniform or you think they're disrespecting you personally, you might have a negative outlook with that, might violate that citizen's right. That's just the slippery slope that they can go down. I'm not saying they will, just keep that in mind. Excuse me. But yes, I think for a strength, that's really good. Just for a weakness, if you're talking about piggybacking on that, be self-critical and actually analyze, hey, this is where I'm at. Try not to get something that's directly going to impact, the department or the profession in itself. All right, next one. Hey man, just wanted to thank you for these awesome videos. You're welcome. I'm glad you like them. I'm trying to be as prepared before I begin applying. Yes, I love to hear that. I wanted to ask your opinions on hairstyles. Actually, I need a haircut right now, so I don't know if I'm the best person, but I'm going to get one tomorrow. So yes, I'm looking a little shaggy. Currently, I have a medium hair that I have in a middle part. Okay, a bit longer in the back. We talking like a mullet here, or okay. I try to maintain it, and I don't let it get overgrown. I was thinking, and what I'll normally do in the summer is getting a buzz cut, short hairstyle to interview. Okay, so talking about getting a haircut because they're getting ready for interviews. Since I'm on the younger side, 22, yep, I think it gives me a more mature look, but I want to get your opinion. I know it depends on personality and confidence, but yes, so 100% going in there with a more mature presence to include appearance, great. I recently shaved a couple weeks ago. You've probably seen some of those videos. A lot of my coaching members have commented on how young I looked. I'm like, great. And when I get super old, I'm just keep shaving and I'll maybe look and feel younger. Doesn't work like that, but I'll try. That being said, yes, it does matter. Now, me personally, I have, which I've gotten away from this in the past, but usually I keep my hair just a little bit longer in the winter, keep a little bit of a thicker beard in the winter, just for the sheer fact it keeps me warmer when I'm outside. Definitely helped me on patrol in DC. As for summers, I tend to have and I've always had a very clean cut, but I mean, I let the top of my hair grow out a little bit more. But yeah, absolutely. If you're on the younger side and you're trying to go for a more mature appearance, yes, I would say get a mature haircut. Long hair is definitely I don't want to say a sign of immaturity because it's not, but it's definitely what the younger crowd in society has these days. A more of a little bit of a shaggier hair, kind of unkept. You want to go in and look as professional as possible, especially the fact that you're 22 years old. But it shows your maturity that you're already thinking about that. So just kind of keep leaning on what you're leaning on. I'm always doing a fade. I do a higher fade, which means that I get it cut pretty much as tight as I can around the ears, and then my barber fades it all the way up. And then for facial hair, right now, like I said, I look pretty shaggy, but for facial hair, I'll usually try to keep a neat, clean kept beard. Not too crazy usually. Like I don't let it grow all the way down here. Don't even know if that would look good on me. I've never done it. But also, if I'm going to have just some, I keep it really well groomed, always shaving the neck and everything like that. It's just, if you're going to have a beard, keep it really groomed and well kept. And I'm talking, I would, for law enforcement, I would not have a super, super long beard. It doesn't usually convey maturity and professionalism. Not that I shouldn't say that it doesn't. It's just not the typical mindset that goes with it when you're looking at a candidate. And it also depends on what your department that you're applying to. Look at their grooming standards. All right, next one. Hey, Frank, I've been watching your videos preparing for my interview, and they didn't ask me any of the questions I've been practicing. Ugh, sorry about that. They asked me who the mayor of my town was. Okay, so no, that's something you should have been practicing, knowing the department, knowing the city. So you should have been. They asked me who the attorney general was for my state. Wow. I usually see that like federally. Who's the AUSA or the United States Attorney? Okay, for a local, that's pretty good. For my state, and who it was for the United States. Okay, I wonder if were you applying to a federal department? That's my first question, which I didn't know any of those. The state's Attorney General, that and the United States Attorney General. I can understand you not knowing those. Not knowing the mayor of the town that you're applying to, not a good look. That one I can understand. When they asked me a riddle, and I had no idea how to solve it. And then it goes on to say, I feel defeated, which I'm sorry to hear that. I wish I was more prepared for those type of questions. Was I singled out? I don't know if you were singled out so much as what type of candidates were they looking for? This is weird. I'll be honest. The mayor, the attorney general for the state, and the attorney general for the United States. I think those last two are pretty rough questions, but I can understand them. As for the riddle, I don't know what type of riddle. Was it actual riddle or was it a scenario question that they asked you? And if it was an actual riddle, I've never seen anything like that. Matter of fact, the only thing that would ever be a riddle is if you're applying to some federal special agent positions. We have what's called logic games, and those can be kind of thought of as riddles. So this one's a difficult one. I can honestly say here, I don't know about the whole riddle thing, and it depends on what the riddle was. If it was a logic game, I can see the struggles you would have on, because you really got to train for logic games. It was something that I originally learned when I was prepping for law school. What I would say is don't beat yourself up too much on this. I don't see this typically. I've never even seen a riddle, if it was like a legitimate riddle. I've never seen a riddle asked during a board interview. So hopefully this wasn't your dream number one agency. Even if it was, doesn't mean all hope is lost. You can still apply to your second, third agency, work with them, gain some knowledge, experience. If down the line you still want to move and come to this agency and try them out, you can lateral over. It'd be significantly easier. I mean, you can always reapply again if you'd like to as well. Missing out on the board interview is not usually a cutoff I have. as for being seen, I don't know if you were singled out, but I've never seen like a riddle, and I've rarely ever seen someone ask someone who the Attorney General of the state and who the United States Attorney General was. I'm not saying they don't, and I'm not saying those aren't good things to know, but I wanted to prepped for that. So, sorry. I don't think you were singled out. You could have been, but I doubt it. These are just very odd questions. I'd be interested to know what department or at least what state this was in. As for that, what I can tell you is I'll pass this along, and I'll start telling our coaching members, hey, you might just want to know this. They might ask it to you. But that's a weird thing for them to try to get to know you about. Usually it's, hey, what can you tell us about our department? And they expect you to rattle off maybe who the department, who the chief, the deputy chief is. But this one's a tough one. I wouldn't beat yourself up on this one too much. Just keep going after it. All right, don't give up. Okay, 3 great questions. What I will say is if you want your questions answered, go ahead, leave a comment either, on this video in YouTube or any of our other social platforms, or get over to our new blog, get in there, get into the discuss, create yourself a little. I think you got to create an account, but you can do it anonymously. I think you just got to share your email in there. But once again, it's worth it because that's where we're answering all the questions at first. So get in there and leave us anything you want. Plus, a little bit more privacy over there if you have something that you want to touch on that's a little bit more contentious or a little bit more personal to you. So, hope this helps. Stay safe, and I will see you next time.